What is up, faithful friends and family of the internet? Welcome back to the Live, Laugh, Lopez podcast, where we talk about all things marriage, ministry, parenthood, and so much more, all while sharing lots of
tears
and laughter along the way. My name is Jose Lopez, and this is my beautiful wife,
Natalie.
and we are here fully excited for this next conversation, for this episode, which we are not doing episodes now. We are just dragging this thing on for as long as the Lord will allow us and lead us to. And we will record when we can. And when we can't, we'll just let you know when we can. So join us along for the ride. It's going to be bumpy, but hopefully a lot of fun and helpful for you guys. So what do we got today?
We are going to be talking about marriage and parenthood.
Ooh.
That's one of the topics that people asked us to share about.
So do you want to share a little bit about how we became parents and what it was like transitioning before, like tell our story?
We were married at the tender age of 22/23.
You made it sound like it was like as teenagers.
Yeah, well,
at the tender age.
People act like it is because in modern times now, it's considered young. To me, it wasn't young. To me, it's still not young.
Oh, in all fairness, we've been together since we were 16.
But also, I graduated college. So, what else after that? I didn't. No. But I'm just saying,
taking away your college
I'm
degree
saying
here.
people, it's considered young. But we were married at the age of 22, 23, fresh out of college for me. And my husband was already a manager doing his thing. And we didn't have kids until 3 years after that. We had some fertility struggles, but we were blessed to have twin boys. And so we are currently the parents of twin preteens, and they are lovely.
Which is a fun stage.
Yes.
If you could choose one stage of the parenthood journey that we've had or been through so far, what would be your favorite?
You first.
My favorite would be that 3 to 7. 3 to 7 age is the best pocket ever because they love you. You are their hero. They snuggle. If something's bothering them, they could tell you. It's not that stage where they're just crying for no reason. It's just a wonderful stage. And no matter what, you're the cool dad and you're the fun dad and you are the heroic dad. And there's nothing you could do to ever disappoint them. And but this preteen stages,
It's hard for me. I like every stage, basically, because every stage has its own joys and things that are hard about it. So what I like about the age group that you mentioned is that they're like really snuggly and warm and cuddly. And I like the baby ages too, except minus the sleep and the pumping. But every stage has its own joys. And so it's hard for me to pick one because there's something that I love about each stage. Even the preteen stage, even though it's hard in its own way, I like the way that I'm able to have conversations with them in a way that I couldn't have at that younger age.
Well, you were saying that you just, regardless of the age, you just really enjoy parenting.
I do. I love being a mom, and it's one of my greatest joys. And so it's hard for me, like I said, to pick one because I just love being a mom.
Yeah, that's cool. So we put a question thing on Instagram asking you guys to tell us what you would like for us to talk about and what you would like to questions that you had for us to cover on the podcast. And so one of the questions we want to answer today is, how did becoming twin parents shift our marriage dynamic, especially with the added layer of ministry demands?
Yes. I would say first we were married for 3 years, and we were making sure during those years.
Was it a glorious 3 years?
It was an interesting 3 years.
I think it was a glorious 3 years.
The first 3 years of marriage, you're learning each other in a deeper way, and you're able to like really understand your partner. Here's the thing. We didn't live together before we were married. Like we did things in a way that honored the Lord. We didn't like,
There was no test driving.
there was no test driving. There was
Yeah.
just, and so I would say that those first 3 years of marriage were actually really fun and actually really exciting in the fact that everything was like, I've never lived with a man before. It's not my dad. And I'm living with this person. And like, I'm learning about his habits and I'm learning about cooking, how to cook. And he likes to cook. And like, we traveled a lot. There were like a lot of things I would say that in those first 3 years, our commitment was to really have a strong foundation and to check things off of our bucket list, to check some things off of our dream list. We traveled a lot. We had a ton of fun. We like, it was like a endless loop of sleepover.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean there weren't hard things during those years, but I feel like it was also just a very special time that we had.
Yeah, and we would suggest that like anybody that gets married, one of the suggestions I make to people is like enjoy that time
Don't rush
without
it.
children. Obviously not because we don't want people to start families, but like it's that time that we got to spend for the first 3 years.
You'll never get it back.
Number one, you never get it back. Number two, you not only learn about the other person, like you don't just learn who your spouse is, but you also learn who you are in a marriage. Like marriage will teach you a lot about yourself and expose a lot about you that you probably don't even realize is there.
Yep. It'll give you so much patience.
And so the question then becomes, how did that dynamic shift once the twin boys entered?
I would say that one of the big shifts was we had twin boys. So twins, you know what I mean? If you're a parent of a singleton, which is what I would say of a single child, it's very different. Not bad, but it's very different than having two babies with two needs at the same time.
Yeah.
Think about like trying to sleep train twins and trying to get twins on the schedule and trying to, you put one baby down, the next minute, the next one is crying and you literally just don't sleep for a year.
Yeah.
So the first year of their life, it was a lot. Our kids were born, we went through fertility struggles. Then the boys were born preemies at 34 weeks. I had preeclampsia.
Yeah.
Micah they were both in the NICU for a time. And then they were in the PICU at one point. They thought our one son had
Hirschsprung's disease.
The other one ended up with RSV, was intubated for 10 days, literally almost died. Like the first year for us was extremely traumatic.
Yeah, you were at the Ronald McDonald house
It was
at DuPont.
chaos.
I was here with one of them after they got out of PICU.
Yeah, it was chaos.
It was chaos. And like, so the shift for us, honestly, I would even say the shift for us probably looked different than most people because there was a whole lot of stuff that we were
that
wrestling
first
with.
year was hard.
You know, the first month or so practically they were still in the hospital and we couldn't bring them home after they were born. So there's that dynamic. Then there's the dynamic of like, you know, what it did for us in ministry where like I would put it, one of us had to like kind of step more to the forefront while the other one took a little bit of a backseat. So would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
And how like it affected, because it was like there's this dynamic of like, okay, now we're going from being just a couple who's married in love, living our lives, doing our thing, getting to know each other, getting to know ourselves, involved in ministry. Two babies are now in the picture and everything looks different.
Yeah. First, let me give context. Our church at the time was in Delaware. So you have to understand that we were, before the kids, we were two people in their 20s driving up to Delaware 2 to 3 times a week. It was about a 45 minute to an hour drive away.
Shout out to our church in Delaware.
Yeah, and we loved it. And
still love it.
Now imagine we have babies and we are traveling, and we still did it for about a year afterwards. And it was hard that first year because I feel like I struggled with my identity as a mother. I had identified myself before as a worshiper, a this, a that, a leader, all these things. And then when I felt like a mother, I kind of struggled with like, is this all I am? Before you get mad at me for saying that statement, I know now like the importance of the role of a mother and the title and like the power that it is to be able to shape and influence someone's life that you're entrusted with. But at the time, I didn't really know all of that. And I felt like, who am I? I struggled with my identity. I struggled with, I was down for a little bit because I felt like everything that I had before was kind of gone. And I had to take a step back, and my husband was able to kind of continue in some ways because his roles were needed a little bit more at the time. Yeah. Like not any, like it's just what it was. And I definitely had a hard time that first year until eventually when we transitioned to a church that was closer to home. And I was opening up to my pastor's wife at the time with my identity crisis. Who am I? What am I? I don't know anymore. Like I've lost myself in this. And she helped me to realize like, if you never do anything again except for this, that's okay. Like the Lord, like changing diapers is worship. It's all worship to God. Like, and that helped me, you know? And I would also say like, once we entered into the toddler stages and there was a little bit more freedom, we were able to both tag team way more in ministry, which is what we did. Like there were times where you'd be on a Sunday leading worship and doing all the things. And then I would be on mama duty. Cause at the time there was no like Sunday school for the kids at that age. And that's okay. There was no toddler ministry and that was okay. And then there were Sundays where I would be on and then he would be on. We actually ended up starting the toddler ministry in that church by tagging in other toddler parents and being like, hey, we'll watch your kids for this Sunday. And then we'll trade off. And that's actually how the toddler ministry like started in the church.
Yeah, we had a rotation with the parents of like, we'll watch
all your kids
today.
But you got to watch my kids.
You got to watch all the kids next week. And then you've got to watch the kids after that, you know. But I think that like, that's important to talk about because like having kids is a shift. Like everything has to shift when you have kids, when you add kids into the picture, because you go from being single individuals to having to make a shift now when you become a unit, a couple, a married, you know, relationship, and you're living together and you're working together. You're putting all your finances together. I mean, at least you should be. Yeah. You know, you're all becoming one. And then there's like this new shift that happens when you introduce children into it, because now you got to learn how to not just be a married couple, but parents and a family. Yeah. And so you have to learn a level of communication when you're in a relationship. Now you have to take that level of communication and kind of amplify it when you bring the kids into the picture, because it requires a lot of grace. It requires a lot of communication, which is important in any relationship. You know, if there's any word that I would use that best contributes to the health of both a marriage and a family, it is communication. Yeah. And I think
feeling like you're in a partnership with somebody. So I think like really feeling like in order to do this well, we have to be able to work together. It's not like, I think what I see a lot in couples that can't get this part right is that they kind of keep score. Well, I did this and this and that, so you need to do this and this and that. And there were seasons of life where I had to do more than he had to do. And there were seasons of life where he had to do a lot more than I had to do. And it ebbed and it flowed, but we were able to like give each other grace for that season and recognize like that a season is just a season. But also, as long as we were communicating with each other, nobody felt some kind of way. Like I wasn't jealous that Jose was doing X, Y, and Z, like, and that I wasn't. And likewise, he wasn't. It's like I wanted him to be fulfilled in his purpose. He
Yeah.
wanted me to be fulfilled in that purpose. We just had to like do the dance to figure out what that looked like and the best way we could support
And I
each
would
other.
say that looks different for
everybody.
everybody, for every couple. However, don't negate that aspect of like, yo, let's talk. Let's make sure things are functioning smoothly. Let's work as a team, because you'll often hear us say that a lot. This is a team effort. No, like nobody makes these kids alone, right? Like the wife doesn't just magically pop out babies. We're not freaking amphibians here, right? Like we're not frogs or whatever. Like it takes two to tango. It takes two to procreate. So therefore it takes two
to raise a child.
To raise a child. My heart goes out to people who are single moms, single dads who are raising children by themselves, because
this crap
I
is
realize
hard.
how difficult it is to do it as a unit, and having to do it as an individual.
Kudos
And respect to you.
Heroes.
And I would even say, like, churches, let's do better about rallying around single parents and like being a blessing to them, because it takes a unit, it takes a lot, and it's a major shift for everyone.
And that's the beauty. This is like off topic for 2 seconds, but that's the beauty of when you are part of a local body and a local community of people, is that it's like, the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Like it takes a community, and like that's what the body of Christ should be doing. So
there was a lot of shifts. One of the greatest shifts I think for us is in the way that we work together, but also communicate together, I would say, right? So what expectations did you have about parenthood and ministry before the twins arrived, and how did reality challenge those expectations?
I don't think I had any expectations. Like, I didn't know what it was going to be like to be a parent. I don't even think I really believed I was having twins until they pulled a second baby out of my belly. So I don't have like you know what I mean? Maybe I did think that it was going to be life as usual.
I think that's an expectation that a lot of people have, that it's everything is going to be life as usual, that like nothing changes, and like,
well, some people say don't change anything for your baby's life, just like keep moving forward with it.
And to an extent, I would say yes, but that's also so nuanced of like everything is different. Like, now you do have the responsibility of taking care of a child. And sometimes you and I have talked about this, where we'll see parents like in the really infant stage go from like 3-hour services to like then go sit at, a restaurant for another 2 hours and then go do this and do that. It's like, bro, that baby is not going to make it
happy
all that time. And then they're frustrated when the baby's like crying hysterically at like church or a restaurant and all this stuff, because you're not managing the fact that like you now have a child, a human baby that should be on a schedule, that can only handle certain environments for so long. And you have to be like, okay, there's some things I'm going to miss out on because I got to make sure that this baby takes a nap before he turns into the Tasmanian devil.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it goes off. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's okay, because again, things are in seasons. But I think that's like most people, I feel like, go into it either having really high expectations of things changing, or really feeling like, nothing's really going to change. Everything's going to remain the same.
I didn't think I knew what to expect at that time, honestly.
I think we were just, to be honest with you, I think we were just really, because we struggled with infertility, I think we were just so happy to be able to like
have kids.
And then when we found out we were having twins, I was excited because I always wanted twins. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just always
I just didn't believe it. I really didn't until the day they were born. Like,
and
even
though
I
were
knew,
just like,
I was like, I'm
like, oh, okay, we're having twins, cool. And then it didn't become real until you actually had them.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I would agree with that. I don't feel like we had expectations either way. I think for the most part, we were just gonna figure it out.
Yeah. I'm not like a type A personality either, where I didn't plan my own wedding. Like, I had a planner for that. So I I like to know a plan, but I also realize that with kids, it's hard to,
Yeah.
you can't account for their personalities, the things you're going to go
Yeah.
through. So I know another thing that we were asked about is like, how do we balance marriage
Yeah.
and how do we continue to prioritize our relationship
Yeah.
while parenting twin boys? And so
Yeah.
I would say that something that helped us a lot from the beginning was making sure our kids were on a schedule. The schedule benefited them, but the schedule was also for us. From the time the boys were little, like from the time they were toddlers, 1 year old, well, as soon as we could sleep train them and get them on a schedule all the way up until now, I would say they're still on a schedule.
Yeah.
We're in the summer, so it's a little different. But once the school year starts, they're back on a schedule.
Yeah.
Our kids go to bed every day by 9 o'clock. When they were kids,
And that schedule changes,
that changes
as they get older.
When they were in elementary school, it was 8 o'clock every single day, every day without fail. And part of that was so that we could have time together at night.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to still have movie dates, to be able to eat together. And parenting is hard. And we were in the trenches with twins who had the same needs at the same time. And like, in order to keep our sanity and also to keep our relationship and not lose ourselves in parenting and neglect one another, we had to live and die by the schedule.
Yeah.
So from 8 o'clock to 10 p.m., that was our time.
That was our time.
We watched
and that
shows.
was without
We ate
fail.
dinner. We did all the things.
And you have no idea.
We used to have parties.
Yeah.
We had entire parties.
Yeah.
We would literally invite our friends over
to come
at 8
after
p.m.
the kids' bedtime.
We're going to play volleyball. We would play volleyball and we would fully party. And by party, I mean, we're Christians. So our party was like Christian music, volleyball, food.
What would be the equivalent
whatever.
of Forrest Frank when we were?
But we would literally, and I remember our friends would be like, yo, I can't believe your kids are sleeping through this. And we're like, no, we're training them to sleep through the chaos because they got to get used to it.
Yeah.
But we would do that. We would host, like, our second phase would begin at 8 p.m. And we would still do the things that we liked and loved. It was just a little bit later. You know what I mean? But I feel like that helped us not to completely lose ourselves.
Helped because like it
prioritize.
really helped us to prioritize us.
Yeah.
Especially early on. So early on, the bedtime was like a huge thing. Like we would like, and it wasn't like we weren't always partying. Don't get me wrong, but like sometimes it would be like, "Yo, let's watch The Office from 8 to 10 and just laugh our butts off," you know, because we've dealt with a lot of crying today. Let's eat dinner. It's late. Let's have dessert. Let's play a game of Scrabble.
Let's order something.
Let's have a conversation. How are you doing? You know, like is there anything that we need to talk about? Is there something that we need to address? You know, but that 2 hour window for us was huge. And honestly, like if I could advise parents to do anything that would be beneficial for their parents is give your kids a flipping bedtime. A bedtime is huge. And like there were times where we would like, as they got older, then that 8 o'clock became like, they're like, no, we don't want to. Okay, well, go lay in your bed and read a book.
Yes.
But you're going to bed because me and your mom are hanging out and we don't want you involved.
It's funny because it became so part of the routine that they would put themselves to bed.
Yeah.
And one of our sons still does that. Like his body clock is so used to that time frame that he will put himself to bed, especially during the school year. Yeah. He'll fall asleep. But that was something that was just essential that I would say we've still kept until now. Like
if that's not something that will work for you, then we would just simply say, make it a priority
for time
for each other.
It could be in
some
the
way, shape,
maybe it's
or
in the
form.
morning. Like I've had wives say to me, well, my husband works the night schedule. Like the schedule just doesn't work.
Right.
The point of the matter of what we're saying is to prioritize a point in your day.
Yeah.
Maybe it can't be 2 hours. Maybe it's 30 minutes, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But we prioritize the things that we value. Even the Bible says where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And this is a treasure.
Yeah.
And so because this is a treasure, I'm going to prioritize this in my life. And it might change in seasons. So it's like, During the school year, it might look a little different, but
Yeah.
either way, there's going to be that allotted time where
Look,
we have for each other.
You've got to be super intentional about guarding your marriage and like taking care of it, right? Like you
Like a flower
yeah,
that needs to be
literally,
watered.
I was just about to say that. It's crazy. Literally, like a flower or a plant, you've got to water that thing. You've got to put that thing in the proper environment to get some sunshine and
Yeah.
grow and be nourished.
Good marriages just don't happen. They take
We've said that before, right?
work. They take intentionality. They
Yeah.
take like, you know what I mean? And there's times where we have to do a check-in. We just had to
Yeah.
do a check-in a week ago because we were recognizing that we were in a season of life where we were feeling like two ships in the night because we both had so much on our calendar. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
We were like, we had to stop and say, wait a minute, there's something amiss here.
Yeah.
And like, we got to fix it.
Yeah, and
we have to like
you'll tell real quick.
sit and talk.
You'll tell real quick that disconnect. So like you have to make it. So for us, like we would make sure that, you know, once a month we were going on a date, or like one of the things that we have done is going away for a day. Then it went to going away for a weekend. Then sometimes we would take 4 to 5 day trips. And so what we did for many years was our vacationing looked like we would take time for just you and I.
Wait, can I name some of the places we've gone?
Yeah, why not?
We've been to Nashville.
Nashville.
We went to Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
We did Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
We did Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm. We did Philly, I think, one time.
Philly. Yeah, Philly was a one-nighter when the boys were little.
We've gone Texas. Did we do a Texas?
I don't
trip
know,
together?
but I know we've done some trips.
Yeah,
but those
we've
were
done
like
a
some of
lot
my
trips.
favorite ones.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I just wanted
We've
to
done
say.
a lot of trips, but that's huge because like it's so important that you like people understand. Like I don't think people grasp this idea enough, to be honest with you, of like, and I was talking to like a real estate agent that's a good friend of mine. We were just talking, catching up, and you know, they're actually in a different stage of life where their kid is older and out of the house, and they're like finding.
So they're
like,
living right
they're
now.
like, yeah, they're like
living.
living, and they're kind of like finding that spark again in their marriage.
Yeah, that's fun.
And one of the things that we were talking about was like, yo, at some point these kids leave the house, and you don't want to be left in a place.
As they should.
Yeah, you don't want to be left in a place where all you did your entire life was wrapped around your children, and now they're gone. After all the baseball games, the karate lessons, the music lessons, the cheerleading, the dance squad, everything, right? That stuff all comes to an end. They move on, and what's left in the home is you two. And if you don't prioritize,
You'll be looking at a
that,
stranger across from you.
you'll be sitting across a table going, I don't know
But this is where people
how to
say
move.
we fell
from
out
here.
of love. You know what I mean? I don't know my spouse anymore. Like,
Right.
whatever the case may be.
But you know what prevents that?
Intentionality.
Stirring up that flame
Yeah.
throughout the time and the years. Prioritize the same. I would say the same way that you prioritize the drum lessons, the baseball games, the cheerleading,
Yeah.
the dance, all that stuff.
How much more?
How much more should you prioritize the marriage? Because in my opinion, the best gift that you could give your children, the best resource that you could give your children, the best learning platform that you could provide for your children is a beautiful, healthy, thriving, loving marriage that they can look to. And because number one, I believe it provides stability, not just for the children, but for the family.
Yeah.
And number two, it teaches your children that like they could have something like a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship that lasts, that can be fruitful and beautiful and beneficial to their lives.
Yeah. And so something that we did, which he mentions, is every summer we took a few days.
Mm-hmm.
We would do a family vacation for all of us. And in the beginning, it was just the beach for the boys because that was easy. It was nearby. And then we would do a big, or like a mini trip for the two
Yeah.
of us. And if you can't do that, there's other things that you're able to do. Start small. Like
Yeah.
we started small. For people that say, I just can't bear to leave my children.
Dude,
Again,
there's
prioritize the relationship. They'll be okay if you have somebody you can trust. If you can't, go out on a date night each week. Like,
meet each other for lunch.
meet each other for lunch. Do little things
Have
like that.
coffee dates.
Start somewhere, but I think it's important to start. We also have to remember that we're actually modeling to our children what a healthy relationship looks like. And I think about that all the time. Like, how my kids see me interact with their dad is key. And it matters because my kids actually told us about a year ago, they were with people that had a different relationship than what we had. And they were like, we were around people, they were like arguing a lot, and they were, and,
and it's different for them because they're not used to that.
And they're like, we don't see that, and it was like, we were able to talk to them. Every couple has a different dynamic, but also it was cool to see that they're like really not used to that.
Yeah.
Not to say like we're not perfect and they see us, we get like on each other's nerves, we drive each other nuts.
Yeah.
But they also see a level of like respect and love there for each other. We like to like snuggle and do all these things. And like, that's a thing that our kids see. Whatever relationship we have, this is the model that they have for their next relationship. I want them to have a healthy marriage. So I want us to have a healthy marriage.
And we want them to know that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right? We want them to know that it's possible and that it's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that's how we guard like our marriage as it pertains to like, how it involves the kids and ministry and all that stuff. So those are some practical ways. But again, communication. I think, again, one of the things that we always say is good, healthy marriages don't happen by accident.
No, it takes a lot of hard work. We have
super intentional.
And I think like the behind the scenes is like, you don't see the conversations that we have. They're like 2 hour, 3 hour, like intense.
Sometimes
here's
really
how I'm
hard.
feeling, crying, or joyful, or whatever the case may be. But like addressing the hard things and talking through those things. You know what I mean? I think sometimes when people see a good marriage, they think it's like all sunshine and rainbows, and it's like no, because when crap got real, we had to deal with that, and we had to talk about those things, and like, you know what I mean? I think it just requires over communication and pushing through.
We had to
had
to say difficult things and also hear
receive
difficult
them.
things.
Yeah.
And it's not always fun, but it is always fruitful.
Yeah.
When you do, and so there's my little pastoral alliteration.
Yes, that's right.
So, oh man, so many good questions. Okay, let's see. We kind of talked about this one. Practical rhythms or boundaries that have helped us carve out space for our relationship and marriage.
Yeah. I would say too, like, know the order of what actually matters in your life and then arrange your life in that order. So for us, it's God.
Yeah.
That's good. Marriage.
Yeah.
It's our children. It's ministry. Ministry and God aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
So everything that we do is always going to be us looking at what is the order of what matters to us. Does this honor God? Does this work for our family? Does this work for our children? Okay, cool. So we think about a lot of those things in mind. We don't make decisions in a vacuum. We think about how our decisions are going to impact our family. Yeah. Jefferson Bethke wrote a book. It's about family teams. And it's this idea of looking at your family unit as a team. And you look at, does this decision work for the team? So for example, when our kids are into sports and the sport might meet 3 to 5 times a week and on Sundays and on Saturdays and whatever, we have to ask ourselves, does this work for the team?
Yeah.
The answer is no, it doesn't work for the team. So we need an alternative that does work for the team. Rec sports, they work for the team. Yeah. They work for our schedule. They work for our marriage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's kind of how we, are you bringing me in closer?
Yeah, I'm bringing you
Sorry,
in
it's how
back
I'm
into
seated.
the frame.
But I think those are the things that we ask ourselves and how we guide our decisions.
Yeah.
Is, does it work for the team? And really talking that through. And we don't just do things and sign them up for things. And we sit and we literally look at our life.
Yeah.
And the season of the life that we're in. And I think that really helps us in that.
Would you say, this is an honest question, because I think that's something that like we could talk a little bit about too, and some people would just probably disagree with us on this, is would you say that that as parents we have had to like, yeah, like say no to certain things, even if it's something that our kids may have shown some kind of interest in.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's parents out there that like the moment the kid says, "Oh man, I want to do baseball," it's
But I
like,
think-
cool, let's register you for it. Or, oh, I want to do this.
Has
Oh,
so many
cool,
thoughts
let's
on
do
this.
that. Oh, I want to do that. I want to play basketball. I want to box. I want
Okay.
to, you know, like, and
There's
then
a
it's like
lot.
we just throw
There's a lot.
our kids into anything and everything.
First off, I think in some families, the kids run the show. And that's problem number one. And I have a lot of feelings about that because I think that we sometimes can idolize our children and everything that they want to do over the needs of our spouses, of ourselves, of the family, of God. And we are in a culture that demands that we over busy our children
Yeah.
to the point of extremes, meaning that we have our kids enrolled in, they have something going on every single night. They have no downtime.
Yeah.
You don't understand. I wish I could live stream some of the conversations I have with my students in my classroom
Yeah.
at the level that I teach. I teach high school English. The level of exhaustion, these kids are involved in a million of different things. And many of the times it's their parents are forcing them into it. And we have a problem with allowing blank space on the calendar. We think that our kids can't
While
be
at
bored.
the same time saying we want rest.
It's great for your kids to be bored. It actually stimulates their imagination. There's
Yeah.
a lot of research behind that. But I think we are just like on to the next thing. They have to have something every season. I think it's okay not to.
And I even
I do.
think
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna say something that might be a little bit controversial.
I wouldn't
But
expect anything less.
But it's okay to say no to your kids.
It's healthy. It's
It's
great.
healthy.
Yeah.
Like there
It
are
doesn't
things,
make you a bad parent.
there are things that our kids have maybe asked to do or have wanted to do that we've had to say, you know what, buddy? Let's be real. Like, you're not gonna commit to that. Or you know what, buddy? Honestly, you guys are already stretched thin. We're already stretched thin with our responsibilities. That's just not something that we need to take on right now.
Yeah. I felt guilty because I didn't sign the boys up for fall soccer, and I normally do. I simply missed the deadline. And I was like spiraling because I'm like, oh my God, they
And
love fall
you know what?
soccer. They actually didn't care.
They didn't care.
They were actually grateful. They were like, the fall is a really busy season of life with school, and it's going to be cool to have that downtime. And I was like, honestly,
And a lot of parents, I feel like a lot of parents are so worried that their kids, they're gonna miss out, and like their childhood's gonna be completely ruined if they don't swing a bat
they're going
for
to
a
have,
season, or if they don't tap their feet or tap dance, or like. I
But
promise
again,
you,
it's
your
just-
kids are gonna be okay.
and the question is like,
How's it gonna?
at the cost of what of my
Yes.
marriage. Like I think what we're trying to really connect this to is that a lot of times parents will prioritize all of these things, but they will prioritize the relationship at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is you become two ships. What you are is two managers managing schedules and two ships passing in the night. And I
Right.
think that overall, a healthy boundary or a healthy way to maintain balance is to make sure that your priorities are in the right order and to order all of your decisions around those priorities.
Yeah.
If you continually ask yourself, is this the best decision for the team,
For the
my
team.
family unit, that will help guide your decisions,
Yeah,
honestly.
not just the child,
The team.
the team.
Is it good for us financially?
Yeah.
Is it good for us mentally, spiritually? Does this pull us closer together? Does it pull us further away? Does it bring my child closer to the Lord or not? Because what I also see is parents prioritize sports above all
That's so
things.
good.
Not even just sports. It could be dance. It could be music. We're a
Yeah.
musical family, and the same energy that they put towards that is never
Yeah.
put into the things of the Lord. Y'all, do you know that eternity is real?
Yeah.
And I think that we as parents must think with eternity in mind
yeah.
for our children. With the same energy that I'm giving to these things, am I giving to discipling my kids and teaching them the way of Jesus?
Yeah.
Because that's what kills my soul. Like when I have conversations with people, it's like you don't hear anything about the Lord. Like they know how to do all the things. They don't know anything about faith in God or what it means to stand strong. And like that is so
we
like
could do
sad.
a whole podcast on
And maybe we
simply
should.
the responsibility of discipling
oh Lord.
a child, being on the parent, not the Sunday school teacher, the parent.
The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go and he will not depart. But what happens if you never train up? What happens if there is no training up of the child? You know what I mean? Like,
and so, yeah, I mean, all that to say, like, I think that if we could say one thing is get your priorities in order. Like
model them for your children.
Model them.
They're watching everything we do.
For us, it's genuinely God, marriage, family, everything else.
Everything else.
That's for us. Now, you may agree with that, you may disagree with that, but it's what's helped us.
Yeah.
If at the very top of that list is God, underneath that is the two of us.
Yes.
Because if the two of us are good, then everything else is good.
Yes.
And then is family, children, and everything else.
And I think that answers the question that we've received also of like, how do you balance life and how do you
keep that priority.
We keep the priority list and you keep going back to that. And when there's times where you might fall off that list and you have to fix different things. Like I said, just a few weeks ago, it was like, wait a minute, the list is a little off because right now we're caught in like rung 5 and we're kind of consumed by helping people. But the problem is we've neglected rung 2, which is our marriage, because we haven't been able to check in and just have a conversation with each other.
Yeah, no,
so it's okay to also reassess and be real and be honest and kind of keep realigning until you get to a point.
Which also brings up the point of like, again, it's all about communication, right? So it's like, acknowledge you're going to miss the mark big time, right? Sometimes those priorities are going to get put out of place.
Yeah.
And you've got to have
your job is to put them back in place.
Your job is to put them back in place. You know, like when you see, don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the cautions. Don't ignore the bumps that you're hitting, but acknowledge like, whoa, wait a minute. Let me take a step back, evaluate what's going on. We've been a little bit snippy with each other.
Yep.
Right? Like we've noticed that we're on the defense. Like we had to do this last week, right? Like I went up to her and I'm like, baby, like if we don't get off the defense, we're not going to be able to get together on the offense and score and win.
Yeah.
Like, and so like we both have to.
Can we talk about how hard that is to like?
So hard.
Well, I want to talk about specifically how hard that is when you are in ministry together.
Yeah.
And you have to like the hardest part ministry wise is you have to get up and continue to like do what you've been called to do. Sometimes I might want to wring his little neck or his little bald head.
How do you feel? God. How do you feel when you just got into an argument with me and now I have to stand up in front of you and preach?
Like I want to scream. Like,
but that's real, yo.
Like I want to plug my ears, or I want to throw a tomato at him,
that's so real.
Or I'm just like, I'm not gonna amen at all. How about that? I'm not gonna do.
But
anything.
Honestly, like if I could be real for a second, like it's so hard when that happens, because even as a pastor, like in ministry, you could have the worst day ever, the worst morning. You and your wife could have gotten into it big time, which has happened. Like you and I have gone to war, and then I've got to stand up there and try to preach the gospel and encourage everyone.
And I want to be like, la, la, la,
when
la,
all
la, la.
I want to do is go back home and be petty with my wife and like, you know, and like, and that's real. And so then like, oh man, that balance is tough.
Yeah, the balance is tough, but it helps, like I said, just going back to those priorities.
But it helps going back to those priorities and then having the difficult conversations of like, all right, we got to get it together here.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? What are we? Because the other thing that you learn is like the thing really isn't the thing. So it's not that you said or did X, Y, and Z. It's actually this issue over here.
Yeah.
And so the
It's
issue
10
is much
layers.
more than what you did or what you said. It's how, you
Poor Jose,
rejected.
because
And
it's never ever just like the issue of what he thinks
no,
it is.
but it's not poor Jose.
No, but
Like,
I'm saying like I only laugh because it's always 10 layers deeper. And you're like, I literally thought this was about like the chicken that and I'm like, no, this
legit.
takes me back 7 years ago.
Have you seen the memes on Instagram or the reels on Instagram where it's like the husband going, "What do you hear when I say?" And then the wife goes on
Yeah,
like this
I've
whole
seen this.
tangent of like, "You said you hate it." When somebody says like, "Oh, I didn't want to go out to eat." Well, why don't you want to spend time with me? Like, you hear, "I don't want to spend time with you. I don't like you. I can't stand being with you." Like, and I just don't want to go out to eat today.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, so the balance is hard, but the balance can be managed with proper intentionality, proper communication, and absolute prioritization.
And also, like some practical things too. Jose and I live and die by our Google Calendar.
Yes.
Like he has a calendar, I have a calendar. We're invited to the calendar together.
Yeah.
Something we've had to do as our life has gotten busier is we have dedicated entire days to this is a family day, and we'll put it on the calendar. This is a family day. Nobody, don't touch this day. And I'll tell him, hey, this day, it's a family day. Let's confirm, like there's practical things that we do to maintain that time and to maintain those, the proper priorities.
So for us, we like try to keep certain days sacred. Like that's what we'll say. Like for us, like Saturday is a day for the most part where we're like,
this
we
summer,
try.
not really.
This summer has been tough,
but we've had other days.
But we try to like
but in
Saturday.
the school year, Saturday will have to be the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's a Friday night or whatever the case may be. Where
One
it's
day
like,
of the weekend.
Don't touch that day at all, and we'll block it out on the calendar.
Yeah.
I like to tell people that sometimes we also like pregame. So it's like we'll like on a Sunday go, all right, what's our week looking like? You know
Who's
what I mean? Who's picking up who? This is what's going on. This is the day we have free.
Can I say something else too that
Sure.
like I think is really helpful? Letting your spouse have their own hobbies that brings them joy.
That's a great balance.
I think that's a way of balancing
that is
some
definitely
joy and balancing some because like we talked a little bit about like how parenthood, sometimes you can lose yourself in that. And I think part of what maintains some of that joy and some of that balance, because it's also about you still want to be able to pursue things that you love. You want your kids to be able to do that in a way that's healthy.
Yeah.
And I think like being able to have those hobbies and be able to do some of those things is helpful too.
Yeah. And not like, I don't know, like you do a really good job of that. Like you'll let me go fishing and golfing.
Because I love
recharging.
I love alone time too.
But it's more than that. I think like it's.
I know that when you're doing those things that bring you joy, you are a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
When I do the things that bring me joy, I'm a better version of myself.
Yeah.
This means that I can come to my marriage as a better version of myself.
Yeah,
I can come to my parenting as a better version of myself.
And you don't have to feel neglected because that happens. Like, your husband wanting to go fishing doesn't have to be a form of him rejecting or neglecting you. Your wife wanted to go hang out with the girls or
only
whatever.
when people replace that and make it an idol that it becomes dangerous.
That it becomes
so
dangerous.
my thing is like, he's going to check in with me. He always says, hey, are you cool if I do this?
Yeah.
And if
guess what? If she says no, I'm not cool with you doing it.
Yeah. If I'm like, honestly, we haven't hung out all week, he'll be like, okay,
then, okay, cool.
He doesn't argue with me about it ever, really.
I'll go next week.
Yeah.
After we've gone on a date and like taking care of us, it's everything in balance. You know what I mean? Like, because there is the danger of like the husband doesn't want to be home or the wife doesn't want to be home and they want to be out and, out and about and not taking care of the relationship or the family unit. And that's an imbalance too. So it's like communication, again, key. Like, and then here's the other thing. If it would bother you for your spouse to be away, be honest and say so.
Don't be lying.
And don't assume that we're like, when you say no, it's not a problem, that we are going to know it actually is.
Yeah. They're not mind readers.
Like, please, that's a form of manipulation as well. And it's just like, don't do that. Like, hey, Is it like, are you cool? Like we did it last night. Hey, we ain't got nothing going on tonight. You good if I go fishing for the next 3 hours? And you're like, no, cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm
There's
like,
nothing else
say
I'm doing.
less.
Say less. I'm gonna sit in my bed and read a book.
Yep.
You know.
Period.
But then there's times where you'd be like, you know what? No, I actually want to spend some time with you tonight.
Yeah.
Cool, awesome. All right, what are we gonna do? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I know there's gonna be some time for me to unwind, and you're
Yeah.
gonna allow me that, and so that helps bring a lot of balance as well.
Yeah. There's one last question because I don't even know how long. I can't see our time.
It's all right. It's our podcast. We can go as long as we want.
The question is, how do you handle the tension between the constant needs of ministry and the equally constant needs of family life with twins?
I saw that question.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. How do you handle the tension between the constant needs of ministry and the equally constant needs of family life with twins? So again, I think that's what we kind of talked about, is just that communication and pre-gaming. Like, but then also for us, again, that priority is God, family,
But I guess what I would answer that
marriage,
with
family,
is
everything else.
I see them as intertwined in a way. So
Okay.
I don't
Elaborate.
see it as like this versus this.
Mm.
I see it as this is something that we are doing together as a family.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like church is pulling me away from my kids.
Yeah.
I see it as this is something we're doing together as a family.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow is our big back to school bash.
Yeah.
So what we did today was we were at the church delivering items. But guess what? My kids were with us. We were all setting up. We were all getting the chairs out. They were helping lug the potato chips to the church. Like, it didn't feel like this is ministry versus the children. It's like
that's a
we've
good
learned
point.
to incorporate them together. I think a lot of times people feel like you have to choose between one or the other.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't think in a healthy ministry setting you have to do that.
I think it's acknowledging you don't sacrifice either of them for the
No.
other. Like, if there's one thing for certain we're not going to do, is we're not going to sacrifice our children for the church or ministry, no matter what
or
that
marriage.
ministry is. At like, one of the things I always tell Natalie, and I 100% mean it, and she knows to be true. Say the word, and if this thing ever like gets to a point where it feels like our marriage or family is in danger, I will walk away and drop it faster than you can say hallelujah.
I know
like,
that.
you know, because no, but legitimately, like that, I've seen too many pastors, leaders, ministry people like put ministry on such a pedestal and like their family in the back burner and
But I don't think it has to be that way. Because I also
don't think
see
it
on
has
the
to be
other
that way.
hand, people do the other thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, no with church for nothing.
For
and
some
like
reason.
my kids. But it's like, yes, but also if you see your family as a team, then I kind of see it as we're approaching this together as a team. We're approaching ministry as a team.
But it also comes with the mindset of church isn't something that we do. Church is what we are.
It's who we are.
And so for our kids, it's not just something that we do on Sunday. It's the way that we live. And so church, it's not just an event or a gathering or something that we do. Like, church is not something that daddy and mommy do over here.
No.
And like our families over here. Like, we are in this together because we are the church. And so they have just as much impact, influence, and investment as we do when it comes to like church and ministry and stuff like that. And so like I always tell people, our son wakes up, both of my kids, they get up with me on Sunday mornings at 6:30 to get ready to go to church. And then we go to church and we go set up, and they want to do that.
We want to also teach our kids, like everything that we do is an example to them.
Yeah.
So it's like, we also want to teach them to serve their local body of faith. Like we want to show them that it's important to participate. And sometimes, guess what? It's not always met with smiles.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's met with an attitude. I don't want to lift up chairs, or I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to sit here and say that every day. It's like, oh yes. I will say that it's mostly a positive experience, but I think that the way we approach it is we don't feel like we have to choose one or another. Also, for a practical sense, there's certain seasons of life. Like, I'm not doing a 9 p.m. prayer service with toddlers. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So, like, what might look different is, hey,
Yep.
I have to take my own car for this event because I've actually got to pull out after like an hour and a half
Yeah.
so that I don't have kids that are going crazy. You could stay longer. Like, there's just different things that we did
Yeah.
to manage that tension.
Yeah.
But in the end, you know, we've always made a clear decision that we were not going to sacrifice our family on the altar of ministry.
And then
And
also
we moved to that.
like being honest and real about the needs. And so like one of the things like for us, we were just talking about this today, right? Like, hey, like we know we're getting ready to go into the fall, which leads to Christmas. Christmas is a crazy time in ministry. And it requires a lot of our energy and effort and attention.
Yeah.
Right. But then we already know, like you and I have talked about, hey, let's start thinking about what we're going to do after Christmas, during Christmas break, to like make sure we meet the need of rest for our family.
Yeah.
You know, is that going away for a couple days?
Yeah.
Is that like taking a trip to Hershey? Is that whatever that might be, you know, of making sure that you take care of the need of ministry, but you're also taking care of the needs of church. Everything's a balance. And again, like I can't stress it enough, intentionality about everything, right? Like everything.
Yeah.
But you don't have to sacrifice one for the other. You can actually do this well. It's just how do you do that within the context of the season that you're in.
That's so good.
Right?
Like,
So like
every season has a context.
what it looks like as parents of infants
is wildly different.
to what it looks like as parents of preteens. And being okay with making adjustments that are based on the season that you're in. There are things that you can do when they're infants that you can't do when they're preteens, just like there's things you
I wasn't leading worship every weekend when I had infants. You know, I started to get more involved with it when they were toddlers. We would bring them to the church. They would run all up and down, left, right, all over the church. We had a young adult who would watch them while we sang and led worship. Sometimes they would throw themselves around our feet, grab some pretend microphones and instruments, and play along with us.
Yeah.
So it was a happy kind of chaos. But one thing we wanted to do was always make sure that they got used to the fact that we are a serving family.
Yeah.
We are a family. We love Jesus. We love his church. We're going to serve in his church as a family. This is going to be a priority. We're not going to be hitting like the beach every weekend or like we're going to teach you guys that this is a joy, that we love it, that it's fun. And we're constantly going to be checking in with them on how they feel. And
we've done that.
And we've done
It's
that.
been pretty cool.
It is
one of the things
cool.
we asked them recently was, do you feel, what was it that we asked them? Do you feel like
Pastor's kid
being
question.
pastor's kids?
Yeah. We're like, how do you feel about being a pastor's kid?
Yeah.
They're like, honestly, we don't even notice it. Like, it's fine. Like they were
which is huge,
perfect.
I think.
Perfect.
Like, because we don't want them to feel that pressure. We don't want them to feel the tension of being pastors' kids.
They didn't sign up for this.
Like, no, we felt called to be pastors, but they didn't sign. They just are going along for the ride, and so, we don't put that pressure on them to be any different from anybody else. But it's nice to hear that like they don't feel the tension. They don't feel the difference. They actually enjoy it. They've said we love being a part of like
tomorrow
the
they're
events and
actually
stuff.
Going to be serving with us. They have like their little volunteer shirts. They have roles that they'll be playing. And, our hope is to just see them love the body, and love serving and love people outside of the four walls and even the church itself.
And love God.
Just love Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think one final last thing I want to do is just to leave you with a note of encouragement. Like if you are a mom, a dad, and you've struggled to find your identity and you've struggled with like some of the topics that we've, talked about tonight, just know that like the Lord has equipped you. He's equipped you. He guides us with his word, like eat the word of God, surround yourself with godly community. Like I couldn't have survived the early years of parenting without godly community, without older women, specifically godly older women that were like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like we faced many challenges in the beginning of the boys' lives. Some of them, which we've never even said out loud or that we've never even said that they know, struggles that they faced. But like, that was a saving grace, is having a community of people that could pray with us, that could cry with us, that could listen non-judgmentally. Like, so much of parenting is you questioning whether you're doing the right thing. It's like doubting yourself sometimes, wondering, am I screwing my kids up? Am I making them better people? Like, who are they going to be? But I think at the end of the day, like, surround yourself with godly people, like, be the example that you maybe had or didn't have.
Right.
It doesn't matter what family you've come from. It doesn't matter if you haven't had a good example of a mom or a dad or whatever the case may be. You have an opportunity that the Lord has given you to be able to impact your family in such a unique and dynamic and powerful way. And you have the opportunity to influence your children and their choices and their lives. And it's just such a tremendous privilege. So don't take it lightly, but also just recognize that it's going to be okay. You know?
Yeah, that's good. I ain't got nothing else to add. So if you liked this podcast, if anything blessed you or you found it helpful, do us a favor. Go ahead and like the video, like the podcast, leave a comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, family member, whoever, anybody that you think it would be a blessing to. We really enjoy doing this simply because we, number one, we love kind of like talking and processing through these things. And we just love being a blessing to everybody.
That you listen.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's times when I record, I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to listen to this, but it's so encouraging. Like, each week, somebody reaches out in some way, shape, or form. Somebody, every single week. Someone stopped me I had a conversation with someone in the store in Target. You know who you are, Target friend. And he was just like, my wife and I, we listen to your podcast. We follow, we see what God is doing. Like, and I'm just like, you do? Like, that's cool. Like, it encourages
really
us
cool
because
that
we always
would
say,
take time out of
if one person can gain like an encouragement or can feel like you're not alone, then honestly, that's what this is for. Like, we're not here to become the next New Heights podcast, unless Lord willing.
Oh, gosh.
But the point is, we're just thankful that you subscribe and listen. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys. We love you.
And we will
like, comment, share.
Yeah.
We will see you guys again next podcast. Peace.